It's gobshite tonight. Show respect, don't start a fight. With all the gimmicks you love to see, and some jokes understood by Reese Kennedy. So grab a drink and do what's right. All the cool kids are watching gobshite tonight.
Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to the Globbies. So there's the jingle. There I am on camera. How's everyone doing? Ready for an exciting Globby ceremony this evening? I'm still not sure the latency on the chat is quite right, but we'll deal with that. It's summer casual. This look. Thanks as always to the sponsors Marlboro. Smoke 'em up, kids. Smoke 'em real good. Got some big awards for the Globbies tonight. Drop us a code word to repeat to you, and we can test the latency. Okay, let's go. Let's go quack. There's not a lot of quacking. Okay, that's faster than it has been in the past, but still not great. We're going to have some fantastic dead air during the guessing games. I'm excited. Yes, that's right. There's guessing games for the Globbies tonight. I'm fairly sure this is going to be the longest ever Globbies ceremony. Usually we come in at about 20 slides. This one's a casual 50, 51. So that's going to be fun. Bit of audience participation. So you, George and Reese, can enjoy that. Have we got anyone else in chat yet? Just George and Reese? And then, of course, once I've finished dicking about, we'll all jump over onto Discord, and then we can find out the draft order for the next draft and get underway. I have no idea what I'm going to do in this next draft. Oh, by the looks of it, we've got Wedge here, and I think we've got Mike as well. Very, very exciting stuff. Keep those chats coming in. You know, this is a little the Globbies pre-show. Does anyone have anywhere in the draft order that they'd like to land this time around? I feel like Reese does better when he's later in the draft, as evidenced by the fact he was first and shit the bed this time. Oh, it's not really early. This is not the proper Globbies. This is just nonsense because I was ready ahead of time. Definitely better, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, if you're on the wheel, that's always a good place to be. But with 20 people drafting, going first, you really need your first choice player to be a difference maker because the gap in quality could be massive. Unless people do mad shit like take Presnel Kimpembe. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock. Let's play the jingle again.
It's gobshite tonight. Show respect, don't start a fight. With all the gimmicks you love to see, and some jokes understood by Reese Kennedy. So grab a drink and do what's right. All the cool kids are watching gobshite tonight.
Never ever get bored of pretending to hear that. Never, yeah. I love the jingle, but I never get to hear it because I can't make OBS play it to me and you at the same time. But here we are at the Globbies, the 7th annual Globbies? No, because we didn't do one for season 1 or season 2. I don't remember when this madness started. But here we are at the Globbies. Exciting times. Let's just hit resume on the timer. So, we had some teams. Pretend also that you can see Tiki Takatoa in there. Season 2 saw Neil himself. Yeah, it must have been season 2 where we had Neil from Community. We've not had that. No, the budget for the Globbies has gone down considerably since the season 2 ceremony. We really went all out that year. So yeah, just imagine that somewhere around here, just underneath my face, you can't see it, but there is the Tiki Taka logo in there. You just can't see it because I'm vain. And and obviously the winner of this season was the Chilean Menace. So congratulations to... Can you get the Proper Ducks logo back at some point? You probably can, but Vince made that slide, and I can't be able to change it. But yes, you can probably have the... Remind me next season to bring back the Proper Ducks logo. Let's have another look at one last look at the table before it disappears from the website. Menace, BDL, Surreal, all great teams. All going to get some acknowledgement tonight. The slightly worse teams also getting some acknowledgement. The middle teams sparing acknowledgement. That's lots of acknowledgement at the top, some acknowledgement at the bottom, sparing acknowledgement in the middle. So that's nice, isn't it? But before we get into the awards proper, I've got a very important announcement to make, and I hope I'm allowed to make this announcement. Kenya is out. The next season of Gobshite football won't be played in Kenya with its dodgy refs. It's going to be played in St Vincent and the Grenadines. Ooh. We're going back to our Caribbean roots. There was an active volcano on the island earlier this year. Something like 150,000 people were displaced from it. So we're gonna have some great fun on the we're gonna have some great fun on the island of St Vincent. Yeah, sorry, 15,000. Oh, have I announced that too early, Reese? Was I supposed to save that for the Gobshite Tonight preview show? Pretend you haven't seen this. Ignore it. We're still in Kenya. Anyway, moving on. So before we get into the awards, we're just going to do a quick little game with the chat. You all filled in, or some of you filled in, describe a team in 3 words. Now here's the word cloud. I need you to tell me which team it is. That might be the BBC. It is the BBC. Quite a lot of these are quite easy, but it is quite fun, and it's always nice to see things like fucking wank next to each other. So maybe we'll have a slightly more difficult one next. Again, very tough. Can you tell me who is being described by this team? Why is Sirs on there? Because someone said not as good as Sirs in the description. Yes. Failed rebrand. Bad Firmino, Messi good. It is, obviously, the Sporting Martyrs. Another very tough one to guess. Who do we think this one is? And has anyone noticed that if I'd done this as a huge word tree. It is Hios, yes. Seeing a lot of Joe and Gomez, yes. If I put all of this into one big word tree, I think Mr. Joe Gomez would be the biggest one, as they seem to be on every description. It's very strange. Anyway, I think we've got a couple more of these, so that was correctly Hios. Uh, again, massively, massively difficult. Shambles, shite, bad, French, Benzema, beyond. It is FC Serves. Yes, sorry, I am. Joe Gomes has made it in there again. Bad beyond Benzema. Okay, another very tough one. These do get harder, I think. Who's this? Insecure, Risk, Litterman, Pigs. We've got 18 of these to do, so strap in. Just doing 6 at a time. It is the Pigs. And the last one for this round, a tough one, I think. Yes, correct, Reese. It is Wedge. So that's the first round of them done. We'll have a couple more in a bit, but now let's move on to some awards. Coming up is the Team of the Season. A bit of a landslide this one, you might be surprised to find out. But the winners were the Chilean Menace. 10 votes. A couple of votes for Vince in there, or the BD Elves. I don't know who voted for the Pocket Dogs, but I think they were taking the piss. And 1 vote for Surreal. So congratulations, Francisco and Chilean Menace. Yeah, we've got to get these out of the way. They're going to be very quick. Director of Football of the Season. Let's have a look. Here we go. Once again, congratulations to the Chilean Menace for winning DOF of the season. A couple of nice shouts for Vince again, and then the casual self votes or the banter noms for Nilwall and the Brigstock Bigcocks. So well done, Francisco. You hope you were the person that remembered to vote for Mart. I could check that. Whoever voted for Stefan is amazing. Yeah, it's a real mystery who voted for Stefan. Oh, it was Stefan, and it wasn't you, Reese. It was Johannes who voted for Millwall. So, moving on past a much closer award this time around is the Manager of the Season. And a lot of candidates here. You thought they were secret ballots? They might have been, but they're not anymore. I've just decided I'll read out what you've said. Yeah. So congratulations once again to Hans Flick winning Manager of the Season. I'm really thinking about retiring all 3 of these and just having. You might well have done. Someone did. My favourite nomination here was for Pepperoni Gorgonzola. Yeah, an underrated shout in the in the Manager of the Season tally. I also enjoyed the shout for Steve Bruce, who, as far as I'm aware, didn't manage anyone this season, which really shows you how bad a lot of the other managers were. All right. Are we excited to see a colour that isn't deep red? Because in our player of the season, by an almost overwhelming landslide, it was Chiro Immobile. Chiro Immobile? Chiro Immobile. He scored a shitloads of goals, uh, closely followed by Messi, but cretins. Yeah, sorry, Whammer. That's might not be the first time you're disappointed by the votes tonight. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to vote for Chiro there. I've just realised I didn't put the numbers on, but that's just how it works. And so yeah, congratulations to Vinicius Junior, Luis Suarez, Keylor Navas, and David De Gea for also getting shouted out here. Even though I think a lot of those were self-noms by the DOF, or in Navas's case, an ironic nom. So there we go. Game of the season. We're finally starting to see a bit of love for Millwall battering the Manx 6-4. It was a reasonably even split amongst the rest of the games, but yeah, the people liked the most was Millwall 6, Manx in Black 4. A true triumph of good versus evil. Anyway, so they are the boring awards. And we're going straight back in with another round of Guess the Word Cloud. Again, it's very difficult to see what is who this team could be based on. There's only a couple clues in there that will really give it away. Yep, they're gonna win the league. It's the Weasels. Congrats. And moving on, who could this team be? Who do we think? Yeah, the Pulitzer shout came from Hadley. That was very kind of him. But you did do a lot of admin. Pulitzer Prize for admin. Bottle, Immobile, Chiro, Unstoppable, Redemption. It is surreal. Better than Richard. What do we? Who do we think this team could be? Did they waste Pep? Haaland, shite, good. You have a question about emulators. I believe that was in as part of the phrase bottle job emulators or pocket dog emulators. Yes, this is obviously the Manx in Black. How many more of these are we doing? Loads. Who do we think this one could be? Party. Surreal? I'm not entirely sure how Surreal got to be so big in this one. But yeah, this is Man Over 2. Half Man. Let me just see what the fuck happened there. Describe Half Man. Oh, right, yeah. Surreal's in there so much because of all the times they played each other. That makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. Some of the answers for these describing 3 words were off the wall insane. I'm not calling out anyone in the chat, but Vince, your answers were insane. Oh, last one for this round. Who do we think this one could be? It is, of course, the wormhole cunt himself. It's the elves. underestimated and overperforming. All right. So we changed things up a little bit this season. Instead of doing kind of individual player awards, we've still kept them, but we've also put together a Gobshite team this season. I think it's worked quite nicely. We got a lot more votes, a lot more quickly than usual, and we put together a best 11 of the season. And starting with goalkeeper, we could see the team come together. And goalkeeper of the season was voted to be Bernd Leno of the Chilean Menace. So congratulations to the Menace. I suspect we might see more Menace players in here as we continue. Next up is the right back of the season. A few more splits, but the Elves get a player in the team of the season, Ricardo Pereira. Pedro Porro made it in. Lazari somehow came second in that? That can't be right. I'm just checking this. Yeah, bloody hell. Apparently 4 people thought Lazari was nearly the right back of the season, despite playing most of the season in midfield. A couple of the shouts. Yeah, they couldn't not vote for Lazari after the highlight where the ball hit him in the back of the head. Yeah, there were quite a few highlights of Lazari doing just not being on the same page as the players around him. It's well worth it for right back of the season material. The centre backs, what again? Not even that close. It was the Fridge and Marquinhos, two of the best teams with their best centre backs. No messing. Not even any really mad shouts in there either. So congratulations, the Fridge and Marquinhos. You're in the team of the season. No Joe Gomez. I don't know where Joe Gomez played. I think he was a weasel. And he didn't make it into any of the categories to make it into the team of the season. Very sorry about that, Stefan. All right. The left backs. There was only one option. There was only one option for the left back of the season. It is the complete left back, Rafael Guerreiro. So congratulations, Rafael. You're in by a landslide. We picked the 2 centre backs that performed the worst. Matip and Zuma were better performers. Wow, picking on reputation, not form. It was. I feel like the other options at left back weren't that great. Like it wasn't like Ismaili had an incredible season, or it was like just. I feel like it was a much shallower pool for good left backs this season, and as we can see, that's how our boy Rafael's got in. On to the central midfielders now. As you can see here, Bruno Fernandes was the overwhelming choice for central midfielder, and we ended up with a tie for second place between Marco Verratti and James Ward-Prowse. Now, I'm not saying I was entirely objective in this, because I definitely wanted one of those in the team more than the other, but I consulted with Reese earlier, and James Ward-Prowse had a better overall rating for the season than Marco Verratti. So by that logic, and if it wasn't by that logic, it would have been I just chose James Ward-Prowse to go in there. So James Ward-Prowse and Bruno Fernandes make the team of the season in central midfield. Unlucky Marco, but congratulations, lads. On the left wing, it was another tie. Ooh. And by the same logic as before, Gomez had a better rating than Lamar, so Gomez makes it into the team. Lamar, unfortunately, doesn't. Unlucky. Out on the right wing, there was no real competition at all. It had to go to Mbappe at the Menace. So that's exciting, isn't it? Well done, Mbappe at the Menace. Yeah, Lamar missed out on the 50-50. And up in the strikers, Chiro makes it in, as does Naby Fekir. There was a tie between Messi and Suarez, and it confused me earlier. I thought I was going to have to do another tiebreaker, but I didn't because Fekir got in, and Whammer is raging. Cretins. I cannot stress it strongly enough. Cretins. So that is the team of the season. Bernd Leno, Rafael Guerreiro, Stefan de Vrij, Marquinhos, Ricardo Pereira, Alejandro Gomez, James Ward-Prowse, Bruno Fernandes, Kylian Mbappe, Naby Fekir, and Ciro Immobile. That was the team of the season. Very, very exciting. It was fun pulling all that together and seeing that James Ward-Prowse was only 3 points back, only 3 votes back from Marco Verratti for second place, and thinking he could do this. With a bit of encouragement, he could do this. Anyway, we're back onto the final round of the chat's favourite game. We're going to guess the team. Who could this surprisingly competent team be? Correct, Reese. It is the Menace. Way too good. Winners. Worthy winners. Double. It is the Menace. So, another tough one to guess. I just don't know who this team could be. It is, of course, Keylor fucking Navas and the Ducks. Unexplainable, indescribable, Joe Gomez, people's champions, incomprehensible, overachievers, chaos, lovable. Who could it be? It's your boys, Millwall. There was a lot of love for Millwall in the word cloud. Probably more love than for any other team. Booking. Lads, Joe Gomez, Gobshites, Tantrums. 2 players who did not play for that team this season. Manchester. Who could it be? It is, obviously, Manchester United. Again, I am not sure how Ronaldo and Bruno got included, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Who could this one be? Need Pep? Nothing without Bitey Pacey? Big? Blue lads? Young? Who could it be? Weirdly, the only team that didn't seem to have Joe Gomez in the word cloud. It is obviously Barcelona. It's great that Barcelona's biggest word is Pep when he didn't even manage them. Best on paper. Do we have any idea who this could be? Now, I will drop the mask here that I did actually want the word cloud for the dogs just to be best on paper, but some of you didn't step up, and it is the bottle jobs. Sorry, Stefan. Do you want to see your team? This was you. It was easy enough. It was only clicking back once. But yeah, this is obviously the bottle jobs. Media favourites. Good game week, shit game week. Best on paper. And thank you to the people who did vote best on paper or good on paper without me having to encourage it too much. Last one. Can you remember the only team we haven't seen yet? Or can you work it out from the word cloud? It is, of course, TTT, Tiki Taka Tower, New Arbor Red, Inexplicable, Mr. Late Surge. So congratulations, everyone who guessed Tiki Taka Tower. All right, enough of that nonsense. Let's do some banter awards. So the most banter goalkeeper in loving memory of Rui P. There could only be one person winning this award this evening, and I think we all agree that that man has to be. Can I do that? Yeah, that's better. I think we all agree that man has to be Keylor Navas. So congratulations, Keylor. Come up and accept. He'll drop the award when you give it to him anyway. Ah, he had a difficult season. He got displaced by a large boy. The defender of the season in loving memory of Giorgio Chiellini. See, I always worry with putting player names in here that we kind of guarantee that that player will get nominated at least once, which is exactly what happened here. Chiellini got nominated just for a laugh. Pedro Porro and the Kahneman got tied, but because I'm hosting the award ceremony, I'm going to give it to Walter Kahneman because he is the top boy. So congratulations, Walter Kahneman, for winning the most banter defender. The Kahneman can. Yeah, it was a difficult one. I think you could see that by the fact that no one really knew who to vote for. I mean, someone voted for Luis Alberto. Not a clue. Translation of that, there were no obviously banter defenders. But potentially, I can think of at least one defender who 50% of the votes for Kahneman were, I don't know, he's got a funny name. Yeah, and the other one was me rigging it so that I saw he already had one vote, and I thought, well, Manchester player might win something. So yeah, it's a completely undeserved globby, but it's a globby all the same. Enjoy that, Walter. The most banter midfielder in association with Mikel Oyarzabal goes to James Ward-Prowse. He's in the team of the season and he's in the banter team of the season. So congratulations, JWP. Some other good shouts in there. Oyarzabal, Jordan Vertu. Yeah, Bosch Ward Bosch, not in the England squad. Shocking. Season 7 is JWP season. I think so. The most banter, left wing, right wing, Cam, in loving memory of Leon Bailey. This had to go to the brave shout of Vinicius Junior going in. Did he go in the second round or was it the fourth round? I can't remember. He went early, way too early. And for that, in the spirit of Leon Bailey, who also went too early, Who's texting me? Don't need that. Round 2 for Vinny. Yeah, so congratulations, Vinicius Jr. You at least won something this year. Round 2 for Vinny, round 4 for Milik. Thus concludes the list of embarrassing drafts last season. I'm not sure it does. Hadley Moon has caught up. You won some awards. You... Tiffy Jeffers. And finally, the most banter striker in association with Karim Benzema. This was a very Sirs heavy round. Again, there's always the risk that you name. There's always a risk that when you name a category after somebody, you just get that person nominated for it. But Benzema got this, and even the ones where Muriel was nominated, it was mainly in reference to the fact that he replaced Benzema. Getting to play Where's Benzema in the early games where Sirs would score and he would be on the halfway line. Real highlight of the season for me. Good, that was good stuff. What have we got now? The most banter manager in loving memory of Diego Maradona. It is, of course, the fraud who's brought disrepute to a once great club. It's Oblitas and his constant his refusal to play the formation that George had drafted for him, his seemingly incredible run to win the league, and then the fall. It was full of banter, so thank you very much, Oblitas. And also a nice shout out to Litmanen, who was at risk all season and didn't get sacked. Bielsa switching to 4-4-2 was funny. Zarate being a punishment that Reece kept, also funny. Sir Alex Ferguson, the dogs were pretty funny and mostly shit. And Pepperoni Gorgonzola, congratulations, all the banter managers. And well, his 4 different formations, none of which are the 3-5-2 he's supposed to play. A gobshite legend. We won't forget the likes of him again. The most banter team, of course, can only go to one team really, and that is Millwall. The Pocket Dogs, I feel like they're going to have their own team award coming up soon. But the banter team this season was undoubtedly Millwall. Oblitas going to join Vlad Weiss in the memorial for managers. Quite possibly. The gimmick of the season in association with diminutive wingers at the back post. Now, I feel like we need to update what the sponsor of this round is, because we haven't had diminutive wingers at the back post since we had like 12 people in the league, and we've got loads more now. But it of course had to go to double penalty games. There was only one option here really, and that was the refs in Kenya just loving have a penalty, have another. We'll turn the game on its head. It'll be fun. So congratulations to the Kenyan refs for double penalty games in the gimmick of the season. I'm excited that we've already got some gimmicks coming up for next season. Kicking Nicky out the league. I'm looking forward to see how that grows. It's an early one. It might not get the recognition it deserves. Where by the end of the season, and we've riffed on Benzema some more, but there's just one to keep in mind. See how it grows. The surprise of the season in association with David Silva at centre back. Very elves heavy. The overwhelming you always want to release the gimmick near awards season for that recency bias. Yeah, obviously. The surprise of the season in association with David Silva playing centre back. Again, that's a joke from 6 seasons ago. It's the elves not being shit. We all thought it would happen. It didn't happen. Huge surprise. Other surprises, Emre Can playing at striker, Joe Gomez, Pedro Porro was certainly a surprise. If you want to nominate yourself. A pleasant surprise, yes, a pleasant surprise for you, Vince. Buffon being good, Fekir playing as striker, also got a couple of votes. So yeah, congratulations to the Elves for not being shit, making them the surprise of the season. The disappointment of the season in association with Lionel Messi and the Pocket Dogs. Well, it definitely wasn't Messi this season. He was immense. But, as usual, the disappointment of the season award goes to the Pocket Dogs. Everyone's predicted first, and they disappointed us all again. Yeah, I agree with you, Reese. Let's see who voted for... Let's see who it was who voted for Luis. You you need to take that up with George. I believe it might be a shot fired to wind you up. Actually, no, it wasn't George. I just got it wrong. It was Nikki. Anyway, the kind of bet I can make safely, knowing that the Dogs will win anyway. Yeah, the Dogs were the overwhelming favourites there, and they won it again. We're getting towards the end here now. Rivalry of the season. In association with Surreal and Fallas Derby, what were the rivalries this season? Surreal Halfman, Menace versus Surreal, Sporting versus Sirs, and Litterman versus the Sack. But it obviously had to go to Surreal and Halfman, playing each other in the cup. Like, how many times did they play? 6 or 7 times? Plus a wormhole? Hilarious. Great stuff. And that just leaves the special mentions for this season, which, as usual, the people who fill in the special mentions really love it. No one else can be bothered by the time they've answered 44 questions. But there is this Twitch clip, which is the goal of the century. No, press that button wrong. Nicky drafted badly. Pep is shite. It was a tight season all around. I don't know who said this, but the Maychester highlight of the day. Loved it. Yeah. That's just a nice thing. It's just a nice little... I enjoyed doing that as well, so I'm glad whoever mentioned that also appreciated it. Benzema, because we haven't spoken about him enough this season, and Chiro's ridiculous cup record despite getting wormholed. And that is all, folks. Time to jump onto Discord. Thank you all for watching and chatting. I hope you've had fun voting in the Globbies. We'll be back. We'll be back next Tuesday, maybe for the preview show. If not, the following Tuesday. Depends how quickly we get the draft done, really. Yeah. Thank you everyone for voting. It was very fun. Shout out to Calvin, who got badgered several times and didn't vote. That's poor. That's one of the reasons is the disappointment of the season. All right. We'll catch you all on Discord. Bye. Oh, let's play the jingle one more time.
It's garbage night tonight. Show respect, don't start a fight. With all the gimmicks you love to see, and some jokes understood by Reese Kennedy. So grab a drink and do what's right. All the cool kids are watching Garbage Night.